Right, hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to run through a tender process, specifically how I price it, kind of what everything looks like on the tender. This was a really, really big tender for me. If you know about my background, you know that I worked with a very large electric car company. I signed a non-disclosure agreement, so there's only so much I'm allowed to say, so I'll let you work it out for yourself. Hence the tender breakdown here. I've had to remove all the locations, things like that. So, but we can break it down. I'm sure you'll have a good idea of who it is anyway, and who I worked for. And this was the tender that we priced up. So what we'll do, we'll go through the different pricing and specifically how I price it in. And you know, my process of pricing that, which will probably surprise you, is a lot more straightforward than you think. Initially, you know, by now, obviously been in business for 6 coming up 7 years, I know just by looking at a building, like what the cost of the windows are, or what the cost to clean the facility on the outside, like the facade, or jet washing, car parks, things like that. But you're not going to know at the start of your business. So what we want to make sure is that you can price it pretty early on. And at the same time, if you are outsourcing and using contractors, then obviously that's just going to make the whole process a lot more streamlined anyway. A lot of the work on this tender was priced up by contractors, and then I just ascertained my own profit margin incorporated on the tender before I agreed it with the client. Now, the first thing I want to break down is, so this is how the tender was presented to me. If I just move myself out of the way here, this was for 26 of the sites. We actually did, I think, roughly 32 in the end on a breakdown with, we did additional gutter cleaning that was actually priced up separately. So I'll do a video of that in the future as well. You'll see some of the gutters are priced up in this section here anyway. This, more importantly, was when we landed the window cleaning and we landed power washing off the back of this tender. But we did price for the full tender, which had a 5-year contract on it. So even the daily cleaning would have been, let's work that out quickly, 539,448 times 5. So it would have been 2.6 million, the tender, if we won the daily cleaning. But that's actually coming back up for tender again soon. We didn't win it on that occasion. But like I say, we did win the power washing and the window cleaning as well. So off the back of that, the window cleaning was monthly. So we had 4,740 times 12. We had 56,880 per year on the window cleaner on that tender as well. Which this is just recurring. So we didn't have a fixed contract on the windows or the pressure washing, whereas like if we won the daily cleaning, that would have just been a crazy contract to sell on. And then the power washing was just twice a year, so it's not absolutely massive, to be honest with you, but still 17,000 a year off the back of these. Most of my profit margins on these was a 100% markup, so I would have been making 859 off the back of just the power washing. We actually did it a few more times for them. The facility facades were all priced up. We won a few of them. We'd done a few off the back of the contract, but they were kind of trials. And they're broken down as like as and when cleans. There was no real contract on it specifically. Hence why I sold this contract. If you didn't already know that, I sold the company with this contract as well that I had with it, because it just made sense to do so at the right time, especially with, you know, something like that 4,740. We're doing it for 12 months, so it's 56,880. The margin on that would have been around about 30%. So 17, and you know, 17,000 on top of someone's net profit, plus the power washing, you got over 25,000 there net. For those of you that don't know, I sold the business for 100,000 in total, including net assets. So it was a good setup for me. So let's do a breakdown on this. Now, I can't go on a specific facility. So what we'll do, we'll just take a random electric car company and we'll price it up. And then I'll show you how it's done from there. So let's take window cleaning as a first example. Let's move this out of the way. Okay, so if we take a look at window cleaning, so let's just take up this random Tesla site that I've found in Chelmsford. Now, the window cleaning, to give you an idea, average contractor with commercial window cleaning is probably going to charge about £5 per window. £2 to £3 per window inside and out. I'm going to be wanting to charge around about £5. At the same time, I would probably just factor it in on a day rate, essentially. I mean, the window cleaners that I know, they would fly through this Tesla site in, honestly, 30 minutes, an hour tops maybe, because these guys, you know, you see someone clean a window, it's so quick. So inside and out, if you're averaging these windows, like even if we price it up just quickly, there's a couple of them around there. I think there's 1, 2 on here on the corner, 3, 4, 5, call that 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then around the corner I think there's about 14, 15. So let's say 20 windows roughly. So even if we're putting a price on that of £5, we're at £100. To be honest with you, because I know, like, if we were doing it for someone like Tesla, then we know Tesla have got the money. So I'd probably price these windows at about £180 inside and out. The sign you could throw on for £10-15, including maybe the canopy here. If you see the canopy, probably throw this on for another £5-10 as well, because it literally takes 5 minutes. Like someone with a reach and wash system will reach and wash the top of this. They can jump up on what we call an A-frame, which is one of those frames that goes like that, rests on the side of the window, and give that a quick wash down. So yeah, 180 internal, external windows. That would be monthly. The sign, £10. This canopy here, £20. So yeah, you know, something in the region of 210. I'm going to subcontract that for easily £100 out. So I'll be making 110 off the back of it, 120. To be honest with you, you'll get a contractor that will do this for 60 quid, 70 quid. So you can see where your margins are absolutely huge there. You know, off the back of that, 110 per month, like literally one site, we're talking £1,320 for what is an hour's work. Now, that's kind of irrelevant to you. We just want to take a look at profit margins. So then what I would do, I would go back to my tracker. I was about to call it something different than the tender. and then I would input that cost into the monthly here, for example. So on here, it doesn't actually specify the sign and the... I could have sworn we priced up some signs. Oh, so this was large signage, which again, I can show you that. I'm not sure if that site there has a large sign that some of the car showrooms would have. But specifically, you could add that in. You know, it's essentially an upsell signage and thingy, or just include it on the included in the window cleaning, and then just price it up accordingly. Okay. So next, let's take a look at. You won't be able to see the wash bays because they tend to be inside car showroom facilities, but you know they're pretty standard stuff. If we take a look at the facility facade, if you can see here that the cost gets, you know, a bit more expensive because there's a lot included. There's a lot of work to do. So let's take a look at that now. So the facade is essentially the whole exterior of the building, but we'll discount the windows for the time being, although you'll probably end up doing them because obviously by the time you clean all this facade, the windows are going to get dirty. So with the facade clean, I would tend to have someone either reach and washing this, so which is a reach and wash system, reach and wash pole. I'll quickly show you that. So this is a reach and wash system. So see this guy here and cleaning the windows. You can use it on cladding, things like that as well. So that's what I'm going to have them doing. I'm going to have them reach and washing all of this. Let's see if we can get around the corner here. all this full exterior here. Which, oh, cool, you can get around the back. So all of this is going to be included, including the soffits, fascias. I don't know which one is which. You'll have to get a roofer to explain that. I think soffits is underneath, maybe fascias is on the edge, something like that. Someone can comment below and tell me if you know. So pricing this up. Okay, so initially this is going to take one guy, maybe hour, 2 hours, subject to how dirty it is. And then again around the side. Can't get around that side. Let's use the other side as an example. Again, it depends how dirty all this is and if it's leaving streaks. You might need to go over it a couple of times, things like that. Probably another hour or two there. But realistically, I'm thinking about putting 2 men on this for what we call a day. Then it's not going to take them a day, but Tesla are going to pay for that day. So if I'm pricing 2 men up with a reach and wash system, I'm probably going to price that at about $250 a man. So I'm talking about £500. Really, is £500 a good cost for that? You know, maybe if they need to do a bit of pressure washing, or Tesla turn around and say we want the whole thing pressure washed, then I'm going to need a scissor lift as well. So subject on the specification. If I'm just doing this reach and wash, I'm probably going to charge around about, I'll probably put in about 550, 600 plus that, something like that. And then, you know, scissor lifts these days, probably get scissor lift for £350, £400. That's, you know, you're going to need, what's that, 3, 6, about 10 meters, 10 meter height to get to the top, including this level here. So one scissor lift for the day. Jet washing is definitely going to take a hell of a lot longer. I'm charging, you know, minimum $350 per man for jet washing, including all the fuel and things like that. So we're talking $850 plus a cherry picker. Let's do that on my calculator. Plus a scissor lift. Sorry, you're not going to need a cherry picker really. I'm talking about $1,350 to clean the full facility facade. Okay, and again, just going back to my tender breakdown, I'm going to put that in here so you can see. So I've more than likely priced these, including scissor lifts, because the cost is quite high on pretty much all of them. So again, I would just input my cost into this section here, and that's it. You pretty much done your job. At the same time, again, you can go and get a contractor to take a look. If a contractor says to you it's £1,000, then put your markup on top. But make sure they're including materials and access as well. So they will be asked, you know, they probably would ask to go and take a look, or you can do what I do and just go on Google Maps. Nice and straightforward. Okay, let's move on to jet washing. So that's power wash, jet washing. Now we just roughly touched on that with what I'd be charging per power washing. Jet washing, I used to charge £350, £400 a man, including a jet wash, and obviously you got petrol to go along with it as well. Now, I'd imagine the specification here would be pathways, so all the pathways will be quite intense. As you can see here, all this path, this would come up pretty good. Obviously the front section is going to have a lot more traffic. I don't know why it zoomed in. I have no idea why it just zoomed in there, but we don't really need to look at it in that much detail. And around here as well. And then it's... so most car showrooms that I've done in the past would mainly be paths. On the rare occasion, they'll say, can you give, you know, like this front section here, just a quick wash down to the drains, just to get rid of any rubbish, basically. As you can see, you've got the pathway going all around this section here. This car wash, they may say, again, quick wash down, because it's kind of like the front facility, making it look all fancy, things like that. More importantly, this section here. So, like minimum, I'm charging 1 day for myself. I'm going to get a contractor is going to be charging me price. So a contractor for this section here, they're probably charging me half a day, £180. I would have thought. I'd be charging out $350. I think $350 is a fair price for that. Maybe a little bit more, to be honest. Maybe probably get away with $400, $440. Still giving you a solid margin for a biannual clean. So yeah, again, I'll be putting that in my tender and popping that in there, and that's it. Nice and simple stuff. So that's your power washing. And again, you know, by the time you've done all of it, you'll then have a base cost at the bottom there. So like 8,590 on this one. Twice a year would have been 17,180. That was once a year, so that's fine. And then like if we take a look at the window cleaning that we've just priced up, so that would be 12 months, so that's 56,000. I'll have to put that there, 56,880 on that contract. So next, let's take a look at the gutters quickly. The gutters. So gutters on these kind of roofs are strange because they're I can't remember what you call them now. They're massive wide gutters. Like, to give you an idea, it's like that wide, and they're open gutters. So there's not a lot to do unless like suddenly unless you've got loads and loads of trees at the top here, for example, and there's, you know, it's brushing loads in. Basically, long and short of it is you get a scissor lift and you pop the scissor lift up. This is the safest way to do it because you could throw a ladder up, but is someone like Tesla going to want you to do that with health and safety these days? I highly doubt it. So I'd be pricing for a cherry picker, for a scissor lift to take the guys up to the roof, harnessed in, and then access on the roof will be like anchor points. So you'd always be attached to the anchor points as you go along, clean the gutter. Obviously, the gutter will run along the two sides of the building here. So you'd have a gutter running all the way along this side, and then likewise the other side. So simply, scissor lift goes up. You'd have to make sure all the cars are clear, clean out all the gutter. So again, I'm allowing for 2 men, 1 day. It's not going to take that long. There'll probably be a gutter in the middle of the roof as well that you'll have to go onto the roof and access. Usually right at the top on this bit here, there'll be like a middle section gutter there sometimes. Not all the time, but on occasions there has been. So yeah, again, 2 guys, say 450 for the scissor lift. Probably going to be, I would charge really only £200 a man for this type of work. So I'm talking 850 to clean the gutters, and that's the safest way to do it. If they want me to remove the scissor lift and they give approval that we can go up there on a ladder, then I get the guys up on the roof, make sure the anchor points are safe, and they'd be running it along that way. But I can tell you now that I highly doubt someone like Tesla would let you do it without having a scissor lift going across and a rescue plan as well, which is really important. So essentially the scissor lift will go alongside the gutters and make sure that the rescue's there essentially if anything were to go wrong. So that's gutters. Again, implement that onto your tender. Nice and straightforward. Now, the main cleaning, now daily cleaning, which I haven't won on car showrooms, to be perfectly honest with you. But pricing of it is pretty straightforward. Now, when it comes to pricing a tender, if it was Tesla, for example, just throwing that out there, if it was them, then usually someone like Tesla would have already had a cleaning company. So there's going to be a TUPE involved, which is a transfer of undertakings. And simply the price will be, the Tesla are going to have a really good idea of what price they would have, for example, because they would have been paying it for years. The guys that are already employed, you would have to take a look at their contracts and make sure that you can even undertake them, you know, and still have a good profit margin, things like that. So if we take a look at the car showroom tender that I priced, now you can see that I priced at £13 per hour. Monthly costs calculated or annual costs. Oh, right, fine, yeah. So I broke down the monthly cost, which is standard, so you know exactly what cost the car showroom company will be paying each month. And then I incorporate a monthly management fee with these kind of large scale tenders. So as you can see, if we're breaking this down, £13 per hour, so 6 hours, 7 days per week, this contract was, does what it says on the tin, work out the calculation, and then you times that by 52. So we do 6 times 13, that's 7 days, so times 7, and then you times it by 52 weeks of the year, gives you 28,392. Okay, let's put this here. So that's the annual cost. And then I'm going to divide that by 12. Will give me 2,366. Now, pricing that, I would have already been given the hours. You know, if they said we have a cleaner on site, or we have 2 cleaners on site that do 3 hours per day, I would have taken a look at their contracts. They more than likely would have been earning minimum wage, and then I would have ascertained my profit margin from there. Now, where this is a large commercial tender, I have the ability to only add on, you know, roughly £3 an hour. When I was doing this, minimum wage would have been less than £10 still. It's now, what, £10.42, something like that. So I would have increased this a bit to make sure that I at least had £3 an hour on that. So if you take this one contract, for example, we've got 6 times 3, obviously gives you 18, times 7, yeah, times 52. I would have had a profit margin, profit of 6,552 on that one contract. So if you took that as the base, roughly, for the 26 contracts, we'd have a profit of 170,352 per annum, per year, as the breakdown across those 26 sites. So that is working to small profit margins, to be perfectly honest with you. But I would have been competing against some of the big boys, the Mighties, Total Support Services, people like that are doing 50, 100 million every single year. You know, when I'm doing $1 million, then you can see I need to work on my margins as best as possible to make sure that I can win these kind of tenders. But that's the breakdown of that. And then just looking back at that, basically, another thing I would be doing is just checking, you know, I'd have an idea of specification anyway, but if you just take a look inside here, obviously hard floor, that's going to be a hoover and a mop pretty much every single day. You're going to get a lot of foot traffic coming through the start here. They'll have offices at the top section, probably back here, reception area, a few more offices around the back. I don't think we're going to be able to get around and see them. Let's have a look. But yeah, so you can kind of see here some offices around the back here. So it is a solid 6 hours work for someone, you know, when they're really taking their time. And Tesla, as an example, are going to want the place absolutely spotless. And again, I would probably break that down as 2 cleaners for 3 hours to make sure that I'm allowing myself for holiday cover and things like that as well. And finally, my management fee is there to assist me with additional profit as well. You know, that's pretty much straight profit for me, although it is my time that I'll be utilising to manage it. I probably would have given this to one of my contract managers, to be honest with you, they could look after 26 sites themselves easily. 20 is usually the minimum, probably go up to about 30 contracts, so 26 is perfect. And, you know, even if you're paying a contract manager anything 30 to 50,000, then you still got a net profit of 130, 140,000 off the back of it, off that one contract. And they're managing it, you know, you're hands off. If it did happen to be someone like Tesla, then I would definitely be a lot more hands-on than I have with other ones. So I hope this helps, guys. This is the first time that I've done like some sort of breakdown like this. I appreciate it's a bit different from any of the usual stuff, but let me know your comments below. Give a comment on it. If you want to see more content like this, then I've got, you know, God knows how many more tenders that I can show you that I've utilised over the years. I'm actually in the process of setting up another external cleaning company myself at the moment, because this was the one that I did recently sell. So if you'd like to know more about that, or just drop a comment below and let me know what kind of content you want to see. I've got builders cleans, I've got you know, general cleaning tenders, things like that, and how to price it and where I'd be looking at, especially with the bigger builder clean side of stuff. Some of the ones that I've done for like Wimbledon Tennis Club, something like that, I'm probably allowed to break down by now, because that's long gone. So maybe we'll go through that next. And like I say, anything you want to know, just drop us a comment. at the same time you want to speak to me and you want to take a look at the program that I've got with myself and my coaches on the community, and exactly how we aim for contracts like this and get you started with a business yourself, then just book in a call with us and we'll go from there. So I hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you soon.